Hey girl, okay, so today suddenly my screen recorder um, is working. So here we go. So I wanted to show you what happens when you get in Blackboard, the steps that I take when I first get in. So the first thing I do, which I can't really do right now because my headphones are charging. Some people don't use them. I don't know. I don't know if it's my internet, but I have to use them or it doesn't work. And I've tried to use the AirPods or whatever. Rob has a set and I've tried them and maybe I need to try it again. But I think it's my internet. So anyways, here we go. So first thing I do is Audio Setup Wizard. So I would go through that process. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So if I was doing, I'm going to go ahead and do my headphones so you see it. This would just be your regular speakers. Well, since I just turned them on, I can refresh it. And I would say, okay, and I go ahead and test it, make sure I'm hearing it in my headphones. You want to do this every time you get in a class. It just seems to work better. I pick the same ones for my speakers. Hello, make a recording and test it. Make sure I can hear that back and everything's working. Then okay, your setup is complete. This is exactly what you're asking your kids to do every time they get in the room so they can hear. All right, so that's the first thing I do is audio setup. Then I go over here, and I go ahead and I go to audio again, and I want to do maximum talkers. That's because if I have it on 1 and I call on someone, they can only hear me and I can't hear them. So I have to do at least 2. So I do 2 talkers so other people can have the microphone too, just like you, that you could talk yesterday. So, okay, I do that every time. Then I will go down to my timer, and I usually set my timer. Right now, we're like 60 minutes away, so I'm going to say start and go ahead and run that just so the kids have an idea of when class is going to start. And I think that's kind of it. So I want to show you if you wanted to do breakout rooms, like for testing, you would go in here and so tools, breakout rooms, and then create the breakout rooms. And then depends on what you want. Maybe you don't want to count, all these kids, right? So maybe you would say, hey, I just want to divide into groups of 4. Then you would just push create. If I did that, let me show you. Or maybe you know the number of rooms you want. You just have to decide. Let's say I did that. Okay, so I said create. So right now it's trying to create them. I don't know why they're not showing. Normally they would be over here, so I don't know why they're not showing. And then you would just click to go to that room. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm going to try it again just in case. So, it's because no one's in the room. Hello. So let's just say we want 2 breakout rooms. Okay, so I'm just going to create, and there they are. You can name them. I could say red, anything like that, right? That's not really what I do. If you want to go in there, you can go and right click on it, and you can enter that breakout room, and this is another room now. Okay, if you want to put something on the screen, you can load it in, or you can copy and paste it in, and you want to right click on anything you copy and paste and set it as set the background, or else kids can move it. When you see this red around the page, that means that they're not following you if you've got slides on there. That means they can follow the slides themselves, which we don't do a lot unless you're giving them a chance to read something or do something like that, or they're working in here together and they need to turn their own pages. So I usually, when I'm teaching, I usually have it on follow. All right, so let's go back out. We don't need to be in that room anymore. So the other thing you can do is you can say close the breakout room. You can also go in here and send everyone back to the main room. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this breakout room. We don't need any breakout rooms. All right, so now we're in the main room. So the one thing I want to do now is I want to load in my content. So I'm going to click that. And I know that it's our slides that we made. Hopefully they're all updated from yesterday. So it takes just a minute to load these in. There they go. They're almost in. All right, and there's my Page Explorer. I like to have my Page Explorer. If you see this go away, what will happen is this right here would just be at the top, and you would just right click over here on this, like, I don't know, hamburger type thing, and you would say Show Page Explorer. I like to have mine, but you could just have it where you don't see the slides coming up, and you could go through these if you don't want to see it. I just personally like it. So then, see how I can do that when I'm teaching? I can go through and show them. The other thing is, like yesterday, I saw this on the kindergarten teacher's slide in the morning. I was like, oh, that's good. So I just like clipped it out of hers when I was watching hers. I came over to mine that was already loaded, and I added a new page like that. And I clipped it in. Now we don't need this new page, so you can just delete it. Okay. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing is, you saw that the kids were like crazy talking, right? Like talk, talk, talk while I was doing that yesterday. So that's not what we want. So a lot of times, especially in the beginning, we need to have more control just because they're not used to it. They're like, oh, this is just so fun. I get to chat and all this stuff. So I'm going to probably try to have a lot of control in the beginning by only letting them chat before class. Or if I say, type in the chat your favorite fruit, maybe I'll open it up. So see over here, these control the room. This is their microphone. This is if you had them all on video, which you're not. This is chat. Right now I have chat permission on, so they can chat. If we're going to turn this off I'll do it today so it'll make sense. When we start, I'm going to just turn the chat off and ask them to write down their questions and email us. So just like that, you see that? And we'll see, because we only have 30 in that first group if they even come, so we might just let them chat if they're on topic. If they're not, I'll turn it off for a while. So see that? Now they can't chat. If you forget to turn on chat before class, they'll tell you, because I always encourage them. I'm like, hey, I think it's awesome that you guys want to visit. You are welcome to do that before class. The room opens up 15 minutes before. Come in and talk to your friends. And then once we get started on class, then your focus is on the lesson and, not talking about what you had for dinner last night, that type of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on so I don't forget. This is for them. Like, let's say that you had an engagement activity, which we'll have sometimes when they come in the room. We'll have a lot of times. Then you would make sure to give them their tools right there, so they would see this toolbar then, and then they'd be able to write on the board and participate in that. And of course, same thing, you can just turn the tools off, So there's that. This is just if you were going to let them like share what was on their screen, which you're not going to do. And that brings me up here. So let's say the web tour, remember those Alan Say videos I made or whatever? This is where you're going to click on this and you're going to stick those in and press return, and it's going to bring in the Alan Say video for them to watch. Now I always also give them the link in chat, because sometimes on their end, their computer just won't support it and they can't see what you're showing. Most of them can though. And I'll say things like, look up here. I'll say, give me a green check mark if you can see it when you see it come in. This is if you wanted to show them your desktop. You want to show them what was on your screens. You could do that. This is just to go back to the whiteboard. Another thing I wanted to show you is these. So this is going to be used a lot. I use it a lot, and I know you will, because it's a good way for them to tell you what's going on or interact with you. So I'll use this a lot, like give me a green check mark if blah, blah, blah. If you're with me, if, you know, whatever, stuff like that. Or if they agree with something, it's a poll. Maybe you've got something up on the board, which I have made for us. Whoops, there it is. There we go. Okay, so the other thing is maybe they're going to click this button if they want to raise their hand. They should always be raising their hands. It's hard. It'll give you the kids in order that raise their hands. You just do the best you can. You know how that is. A lot of kids at 3rd grade, and you know this, will say, like, it's not fair. So-and-so already answered, or so-and-so gets to answer, which is, of course, not true. This, like, if you were right now, like, I'm not really here, ready to interact with the kids, sometimes I'll put that on just so they know, like, I'm not interacting with them, like, before the session or whatever. So sometimes I'll do that, or if I really have to step away for a minute. You could say, like, give me a smiley face, or let's give, Jaden a round of applause, stuff like that. And some of them will just play with this stuff, and it'll come next to their name just because it's fun for them. I'm trying to think of what else. So I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this morning, but you can change your polling tools to be, and I thought it was when you clicked on this, to be like ABC, things like that. And I don't know why I'm not seeing that. So anyways, that's another thing you can do. You can right click next to their name, and you can send them a private chat, things like that. Here's the thing. You can't control them private chatting people. So you got to remind them, like, once class starts, there's no private chat, that type of stuff. Anyways, I think that's just about it. Your talk and your video. Sometimes if you can't hear, make sure that your speakers are up. There's your little gear. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Hello. Okay, so if you want to change your polling tools, you would go into Tools, Polling, and Polling Type. And so it's always like defaults to green check mark yes, X, red no. But you can change it. You can say, all right, so maybe, and I think I know there's different lessons where I have A, B, C, or D, especially in Alan Say, where they're going to answer. So you're going to say, you're going to pull your answer on this one. So, no one's writing on chat. Thanks for following the directions and polling your answer. And so sometimes they just we don't know, we can't remember how to find our polling, stuff like that. So sometimes I'll do my snipping tool, be like, okay guys, let me show you real quick. And I'll do this, copy it, get rid of it, and I'll say, okay, remember it looks like this. Or I'll clip out this little bar and say, remember those are your tools, and show them which ones we're talking about. So this one is whoops, there it is. Let me get rid of that. All right, so this one is your pointer tool, so you can be doing that. This is just like, if you need to click on something, there it is. To select different things. This one is your actual pointers. Like you could do hands, you can do the sun, whatever you want. This is your writing tools. So you can click on that. This is a highlighter. Clear the page. Don't want that. This is your text typing tools. You can draw on the page, like I could draw. Whoops. Maybe I want to cover something up. I don't want them to see that. Sometimes I'll do something like that, right? All right, so you can just click on it with that and get rid of it. Same thing there. So draw a line. This one would place like a screen capture or something like that on the page. This one, they can do clip art, once in a while I'll do that later, where I say like, go into your symbols, give me, you know, whatever, maybe